What is up, you guys? Peridot here, and it has been a while, hasn't it? Really, I haven't made a garage sale video in forever because summer is not the time for yard sales in Arizona. Very hot, so there's very few yard sales, and the ones that I go to never usually have anything. So luckily, October is here, and that is the premium month for yard selling in Arizona. There's been many community yard sales that I've been able to go to. Right now, I'm just at the middle of October, and I figured I'd show you guys some of the stuff that I found just recently. I'll probably find more and add it to the video, but I'm just making this because I know a few of this stuff is going to be getting sold and I don't want it to be missing in the recap. So let's just get down to it. So this first find actually was a couple months ago. It was like in August, and I was helping my sister move. There just so happened to be a yard sale across the street from me, like literally right across the street from my house, and lo and behold, they had some video games. So I asked about video games, and they said they had some original Xbox, and I went inside their house, and they had a decent amount, but they also had some good Wii stuff. So I picked out 3 games, and I paid $15 for the stack. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom complete. This is like a $15 game, so that'll make my money back. I don't really have any interest in keeping that. Bully Scholarship Edition, this I did not own, and it is complete with the map, so that is a nice find right there. And then another resellable, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This always makes an easy 15 to 20 bucks, so again, for $5, that's a no-brainer right there. This next find was the first week of October. There was a community yard sale, so I stopped by it. Usually I have good luck at this community yard sale. Last year I got the box Genesis games, but this time I didn't really have that much luck, mainly because I wasn't able to go out for too long because I was busy that day. So I didn't find too many good things, but I did find a few decent things. The first thing that I actually managed to find, I walk up to the sale and ask about video games, and at first they say no, and as I'm about ready to leave, I look down and I see this sitting there. It had a $10 sticker on it, and it was a DS case, and it felt heavy enough to have a DS, so I was more than willing to pay the 10 bucks she had on it. However, you can see that the DS has a broken hinge, so unfortunately, you know, I have no interest in really keeping this. Probably wasn't going to keep it anyways, but I'll probably sell it to a lady in the trade and collectors group I'm in at Facebook. She fixed these up, so I'll probably, like, I don't know, make 10 bucks off of it. But it also came with the charger, which I never usually find at yard sales, and also came with this, a Poke Walker, which I have never seen out in the wild except for one time at Goodwill. Unfortunately, the battery is dead on this, but it's an easy fix, and these things go for about 20 bucks with a brand new battery, so really cool find in there. And I was hoping that there would be a Pokemon Heart Gold or Soul Silver in there. Unfortunately, there was not. Most of these games are pretty garbage. I'll just show those real quick. MX vs. ATV, Cars, Brain Age, Brain Academy, and Brain Age 2. But there was one saving grace in that bundle, and that was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. I already own this, so this is getting sold. This is like a $30 cart, so really happy to find this. And I offered her $5 because of the DS having broken hinges, and she took it. So, exceptional deal right there for only $5. This next sale, they had a few GameCube games. They had more, but they weren't sure whether or not their kids wanted to keep them. I didn't miss out on much. It was like Mario Golf and Pac-Man World 2, but I did pick up these 2 games. Unfortunately, I already own both of them. Sonic Riders, and they're in these Blockbuster cases. And I also got Harvest Moon, Another Wonderful Life. Sonic Riders is only worth like 5 to 10 bucks, but this is like a $20 loose disc, so I paid $5 for the 2, so I'll definitely be able to make some money on top of that. Now, the final find is one that I kind of regret, but at the same time, I'm okay with it. I go up to the sale and ask about video games, and he said he had Super Nintendo games. And at this point, I'm super excited, and he brings the stuff out, and he had some really good stuff. It was a Super Nintendo system with like 8 games. It was a Game Boy system and a few original NES games like Skate or Die, Mario Bros. Nothing special. But the Super Nintendo games were pretty good. And I asked him what he wanted, and unfortunately, he knew what he had. He asked for $150 for everything, which is a fair deal, not at a yard sale. So I passed. I pretty much just asked him if he'd be willing to separate 5 games, and he said yes. I offered him 40, he said 50, and I took it, and I'm starting to regret it just a little bit. A few of the games aren't worth $10, the $10 that I spent each. Desert Strike and Jungle Strike are mainly the two that I kind of regret. But there was also Disney's Aladdin, which I didn't have, and this is like a $15 cart. UN Squadron, which I actually already own, and I bought this pretty much just to resell to make a little bit of my money back. I can probably make about 20 bucks off of this, so $30 isn't, a terrible deal for those 4 games, especially considering the best game is Rock and Roll Racing. Now, I thought this was worth more. I thought this was like a $50 cart, but it only goes for like 35 bucks, which is still a good deal for 10 bucks, and it's one I've been wanting to add to the collection for a while, so, I was pretty happy about it, so... it's not a terrible deal. I'm sure there's worse out there. However, it sucks that I couldn't get it for yard sale prices. This next find, though, this was a really good find. Now, unfortunately, I was at a community yard sale. There was like 3 community yard sales in the area, and I was really excited. However, after an hour of being there, it started pouring. And not like just like a light sprinkle, which still would have scared people off, but it was pouring rain. So I was a little upset. However, I did manage to find this before it really started pouring. I asked the guy about games, and he said he had Wii stuff, which at first I wasn't too excited about. But then he invited me into his house, and he also had some PlayStation 2 and 1 games. At this point, I'm really excited because some of the stuff he has is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the Wii games first. First up, we got 2 resellables. Mario Galaxy, like a $10 game, complete and in pretty good shape. And then Mario Kart Wii, it's like a $20 game, easy. And then 2 games that I added to the collection. Rampage Total Destruction, that one was complete. And then Tetris Party Deluxe, also complete. This is like a $15 game, so not a bad find right there. And then the PS2 and PS1 games were where it's at. I left a few PS2 games behind and Wii games, but they were all Dance Dance Revolution, so I wasn't too upset with leaving those behind. But the games that he did have were pretty good. So first, let's start off with Namco Museum 50th Anniversary. Again, I already own this, so it's getting sold. It's like a $10 game, so not a bad deal right there, or not a bad find. And then another resell, Champions of Norath. I already own this. This is like a $20 game, so very excited to get that. And it is complete, however, with a greatest hits disc. I still never know how that happens. But the best PS2 game for sure was Champions Return to Arms. This is one I've been actively looking for a while now. It's like a $30 game, and it's just one I've been really wanting. And it is complete and in pretty decent shape. The disc is scratched, however, it does play. The disc actually wasn't in the case at first. So at first I was really panicked about that, hoping, it was in the PlayStation 2 system. So I asked, and luckily enough it was, so very, very nice find right there. And then the PS1 games, some really good stuff. First up, we have Namco Museum Volume 1. Pretty common game, goes for like $5, but I didn't own it, so happy to get it. And then the 2 best PS1 games, for sure. Rampage 2 Universal Tour. This is one that this is pretty hard to find. It goes for like $20, and it's complete and in pretty good shape. There are some stickers I still need to get off of it, but the best game for sure was one I did not expect to ever find out in the wild. It's not a very expensive game, but it's one I just don't really see that much of. Air Guys. At first I thought it was Einhander. I got really excited for a second, but Air Guys is still a pretty decently valued game. It goes for like $30-40, and it's complete, and it's actually in really good shape. So I just never see this game. I never see people find it in lots or anything, so pretty happy to add that to the collection. And the crazy thing is, I only paid $5 for that stack. I asked him what he wanted, and he said $5 just off the bat. I was prepared to offer him 20, so very happy that he sold it to me for that cheap. It's only like 50 cents a game, which is just insane. But I am. That is the first part of this video. I am going to be going this Saturday to another community yard sale. I don't know. I might go back to the area to see if they'll redo the community yard sale since it got rained out. Hopefully that is the case because I always have luck in that area. That was the area that I found the $20 Super Nintendo haul I got at the very beginning of the channel, which pretty much just got me into collecting like hardcore. So hopefully I'll find something like that this Saturday. So you guys will see that in a sec. Alright, so I did actually end up going to a few community yard sales. Unfortunately, I didn't find anything as amazing as I'd hoped, and mainly the reason behind that is because I wasn't able to go out for that long, because it was like, I had to go to work at 10:30, and I was like half an hour, I was in an area around half an hour away from where I work, so I couldn't stay out for too long. And not just that, but the first community yard sale I went to, it was advertised on Craigslist as being this big community sale, 30 plus sales in the area, nice area, stuff like that. I get there, it's an okay neighborhood, and it's got like 5 to 10 sales. So that really bummed me out, considering this was like a 15-minute drive from my house. So I wasn't too happy with that. However, I didn't go away empty-handed. I did find some decent stuff. The first sale, actually, I found a few pretty good Wii games. She had a few Wii games out on the table. She was asking 5 apiece. I picked out 4, and I asked her if she'd do like $14, and she said yes. So I paid pretty much $3.50 a piece for each of these games. 2 of them I'm going to sell and make my money back and add a little bit on top. The first is Donkey Kong Country Returns, complete and in pretty good shape. They're all in really good condition. Super Mario Galaxy is also complete. And I should make my money back with those 2 games right there. And the 2 games that I was going to be keeping is Tomb Raider Anniversary. I thought this was worth more, but it's only like a $7 or $8 game, which, you know, isn't a terrible deal. And then the best game was Donkey Kong Barrel Blast, which is like a $15 game, and it is complete and in pretty good shape. So, not a bad little haul right there, but it was the only haul I got in that entire neighborhood. The only other thing I actually managed to find was just a case and manual for Alundra 2. She had a few other PS1 games. The ones I can think of, it was like Wipeout 3, Barbie, and then a couple of sports games, and they were actually all empty. I could have just offered her like probably $1 for all the case and manuals, and she would have taken it, considering she only asked a quarter for that. I should have offered her $1 for everything, but I was just a little annoyed that none of them were in there and that the community sale was pretty garbage. So I left that area and I drove around for like another hour or so. Couldn't find anything. I found a few yard sales sprinkled around, but none of them had any games or anything. So pretty much what I did was I just got a little tired. I got tired of it. I drove over to the side of the road, looked to see if there was any, yard sales on Craigslist or anything, and there was a community yard sale about 10 minutes from the area. I was like, okay, might as well go. I've only got like an hour left of hunting. Might as well make the most of my time while I can. I definitely should have gone to this community sale first because it was like 2 neighborhoods kind of smushed together, and they both had like 30 sales each, which I would have loved to have gone every single one of them, but again, I had work, so I couldn't. But I did find some pretty good stuff in the hour or so that I was there. Nothing spectacular, like I said, but, I didn't go away empty-handed. The first thing I actually found was at the first sale I went to, and finding this sitting on a table at like 9:30 in the morning just showed me that no one had gone through this area, because if this was still there at that time, if it hadn't been there at that time, then there was for sure would have been like a reseller or a game collector. But it was New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Anything Mario usually doesn't last more than half an hour, so I was shocked to see that still there. So I knew that there wasn't competition in that area. And I picked up 2 other Wii games, Blazing Angels and Cruisin'. Those were the only 2 kind of decent games. He was only asking $1 a piece, so I gave the kid a $5 bill, and he seemed pretty happy about it. But that was the first find. The next find, I'd definitely say, was probably the find of the day. Nothing spectacular. It was a Game Gear lot, and like most Game Gear lots, the Game Gear did not work. However, I only paid $10 for everything, and it wasn't just the Game Gear. In fact, there was so much stuff that he had. I'm actually couldn't fit it in just this little corner. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and cut to footage of me filming everything on the kitchen table. So I'll show you guys that right now. So this is everything I got from the yard sale. Again, I only paid $10 for everything. I usually see this carrying case all the time with like all the extras and stuff like that, but I've never actually seen the case. And I couldn't really find any information about it online. Oh my God, if it can focus. There we go. I couldn't find any information online about it. There weren't any like listings with the box. Honestly, I don't really care if it's not worth anything. It's just really cool to look at, and it's definitely going in the collection for sure. And again, it came with a case. Everything was in there and in pretty good shape. Unfortunately, like I said, the Game Gear does not work, but it has a TV tuner, like the Wide Boy ripoff, the Wide Gear or whatever. This battery pack, the charger, and then the car adapter, and it came with 12 games. Unfortunately, nothing worth anything, you know, football, pretty much all sports games except for like Pac-Man and stuff. It came with the cases, and they all came with their manual, which I thought was pretty cool. Unfortunately, like I said, nothing's worth anything, but still really cool to see the manuals. But yeah, like I said, I only paid $10 for everything, so it's definitely a pretty good deal. But yeah, that was that. So yeah, there was definitely more than just a Game Gear, and for $10, absolutely could not go wrong with that deal. Everything was in pretty good condition too, so very happy about that find. But that was pretty much the only find. Like I said, I had to go to work, so I missed out on quite a few sales, but I did manage to find a few things. At this next sale, I asked about video games, and he said he had some 360 games. Now, at that point, I was like, whatever. So he ran in, you know, I was figuring maybe he could bring out like a Raiden 4 or something like that, but nothing like that. The best game for sure was Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations. It's only like a $10 game, but it is complete in box. But on top of those 360 games, he had two Pokemon games for the Nintendo DS. The first one was Pokemon White. However, when I opened it up, it was actually Pokemon Black 2, which is definitely a lot better of a find than White. The game only for Black version 2 goes for like $30. And I actually have just a game only of Pokemon White that I found at Goodwill a couple weeks ago. So that's going in there, considering I didn't have a complete box copy. And then this, which I was shocked to see, Pokemon Ultra Moon, considering that just came out a couple weeks, or not a couple weeks ago, like a year ago, I think. Unfortunately, though, like Pokemon White, it was a different game inside. And unlike Pokemon White, I didn't realize it until I got home. Instead of it being Ultra Moon, it's just regular Pokemon Moon, which is definitely not as expensive as Pokemon Ultra Moon. This game goes for like $25, and Pokemon Moon just goes for like 10 to 15. But I only paid $10 for that stack, so, you know, that's $50 worth of games right there. So, and I never really find Pokemon games at yard sales, so I was pretty happy with that. But that was pretty much it, except for one find I found in a sale in my neighborhood. The only sale in my neighborhood, Skate 3. I paid $2 for it. It's like a $10 game, so might as well pick it up. But that is it. I probably would have found more stuff had I been in the area more, so that sucks. Hopefully I'll be going this week. I'm not too certain. I don't know what I work, so maybe, you know, it's always like, I don't know what I'm going to be working, you know, on certain days and stuff like that, so I don't know if I'll be able to go this week or not, but if not, I'm sure I'll be able to go another time, because this is prime time yard selling in Arizona. So hopefully you guys will be seeing another video of me soon. Again, sorry that it took so long, but haven't really found anything. So yeah, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, take care.